I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mark B, and you are listening to another episode of the Man Listen Show. Before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors.
DD's Daiquiris is your #1 supplier of premium daiquiri mixes. You will love the taste of our classic margarita and signature strawberry mixes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at DD's Daiquiris. DD is spelled DEEDEE. You can also find us at www.dd'sdaiquiris.com. DD's Daiquiris, giving good vibes to good people, one good drink at a time.
Are you looking for a virtual assistant who can help you with your scheduling, travel, research, and expenses? Demi Virtual Solutions is the answer for you. Demi Virtual Solutions also provides mobile notary services. They will travel to take care of your needs. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and need a virtual assistant or are looking for mobile notary services, contact them at 469-522-9005, and you can find them on their website at demivirtualsolutions.com. That's DEMI virtualsolutions.com. Please buy the new book by Erika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Erika Nicole Moore.
More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services offers individual and relationship counseling as well as mediation services to the community. At More Grace, healthy partnerships are valuable and beneficial. Please visit the website www.moregracecounseling.com for more information about our approach to counseling. More Grace Counseling and Mediation Services, where we offer more grace and more healing.
Are you in the state of Texas and looking for a knowledgeable loan advisor that will walk you through the process from application to closing? Well, then you need to contact Joe Byers at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. Trinity Oaks Mortgage offers FHA, VA, and conventional loans. They also have a first-time homebuyers program available. There is also down payment assistance available as well. Make sure you contact Joe Byers at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. You can reach Joe at 972-512-8990. Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can also find the show on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, basically anywhere you can find your podcast. Please share the show and make sure you use the hashtag ManListen. I'm your host, Mark B. So today we have a very special guest, poet extraordinaire, spoken word artist, well-known spoken word artist in the Kansas City area, podcast host. She's just a Jill of all trades. We want to bring her on to talk about artistry, poetry, and everything that goes along with it. We have today the artist known as Serenity. Serenity, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I went through your bio about everything you do. So we got spoken word, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We got poetry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So poetry is the written form, and spoken word is you being on the stage and just spitting, correct?
Yes. When you start using your voice instead of your pen per se, a lot of people would say they are a spoken word artist.
Okay.
I also write songs too. I don't think I mentioned
Oh,
that.
you write songs and you screenwrite too, right?
Yes,
So you
yes.
just a artist all the way around.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, how did you get into poetry and spoken word? How did you know that you had this talent, and when did you start?
I actually been writing since I was about 8 years old.
Mm.
Um, I used to write little songs. I started with songs, and then eventually went into poetry. And I also kept like a little diary. I never forget when I was a kid, I actually got in trouble for my diary because you know how you know when you get mad at your parents or something, you'll write in your little
You was talking trash about your mama and stuff. She found out.
yeah.
Stinky lady.
Yeah, she found it and it was on the cracker. But anyway, but yeah, so I've been writing since about 8. I kind of got away from it because there really wasn't any people around me that was doing, you know, spoken word or anything like that. So you know, I basically got a detour and then eventually got back into it when I got older.
So when I first got introduced to spoken word, it was this movie called Slam, right? And
Mhm.
was this brother. He was pretty famous at the time. His name was Saul Williams, and it was him and a couple other artists that were performing. And then the one that just took it off the charts was Love Jones. Love Jones and spoken word during that time frame. So did that reignite your passion for spoken word, those movies, or what was something that brought you back to it? You said you stepped away from
Just basically started writing again. I used to write, it was kind of therapeutic for me. I remember I got to get back into writing. I had this crappy job and like the boss was like really mean or something. And I wrote this poem. It was a poem slash rap about, you know, corporate America, whatever. And so that, you know, and I noticed that whenever I was really going through a lot, writing helped me get through it. And so I eventually got back into it more, kind of just like a frustration type thing to help me vent. And then I eventually started writing back, um, probably maybe 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, I started writing back more to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna start because I started writing more like artistic type pieces instead of just therapeutic type poems. So I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of went back with it and got back into it and started performing and slamming and eventually came out with a book.
it? Okay, okay. So you came out with a book.
Yes. And was it 20? Was it 17? Yeah. I need to re-release it.
Tell people what the name of the book is.
The book was called War and Peace. It was a collection of poems that were kind of war centered, as in like social justice, things like that. And then peace was more somber love poems.
Okay, okay. Now, can they find it on like Amazon, or can they reach out to you to find the book?
They can reach out to me. Like I said, I'm working on getting it kind of reintroducing it because I basically kind of did limited copies on that.
Okay, okay, cool. Now, with the pandemic shutting everything down, right? We've been People are starting to get back out right now, but for about a year or so, we were supposed to be locked down, and it took its toll on people. It took its toll on people who wanted to, who like to be social, who like to be out and about. You as an artist who does spoken word, and you do spoken word in live settings, how did it affect you? Were you able to take the whole stress from the pandemic and use that as inspiration for writing? Did you suffer from not being able to go out and perform like you used to? How did it affect you?
As a poet and a writer, it definitely like it affected me as far as like even spiritually, as well. I mean, I'm an introvert, but I have extroverted ways. But being locked down is, you know, that's a whole nother animal, you know. And you basically are told like you can't go anywhere. It's kind of like what, you know. So, it was definitely took some time to step back and think about a lot of things, and then you don't realize how you miss, you know, being on stage or you miss sharing your art until you are kind of forced to like re-examine how you're gonna share it. Um, I know a lot of people switch to trying to do online events, which is still not the same as having an audience. You know, having that audience there,
to feed
having
off
them
of.
yeah, yeah, to feed off of. Or, I know me, like a lot of times if I go to an open mic and I'll be like, I got a new poem or something, being able to share it with the community, and it's a different vibe than when you reading it and then you on the video. Like you're not you know what I'm saying? You're not really getting that interaction. And then I know a lot of people in the poetry community, it was like you couldn't really come together because you're supposed to be quarantining. So I know for me, I kind of like it threw. I'm not even gonna front. It threw me off. You know what I'm saying? Threw my game off as far as writing was concerned. I was able to write some music, which, like I said, I also write music as well. I got a song that's going to be coming on. Artist here, his name is Church Boy. He's got an album coming out probably toward the end of this year or this summer. I was able to contribute a track to that, which, as I said, like I actually was doing songwriting before poetry, which a lot of people didn't know. So for me to try to work with an artist and do songwriting, it was a good opportunity for me. And he had like a pretty nice following, and he's a phenomenal singer. So I was happy to do that. And then also I wrote my first screenplay. That's something that
Nice.
I dabbling in, trying to learn for a little while now because I know how to video edit and do. I work with different people on productions for movies. So, and even when I was involved with the couple, I've only technically done 2 movies. But I said I wanted to get involved and learn how to, actually produce. And what's the core production of a movie? You gotta have a script, So learning how to create your own art, that's definitely something that I wanted to do. So I was able to write my own first screenplay in this time frame, and so the pandemic definitely pushed me in a different direction.
Yeah, yeah. So, a lot of people, you heard a lot from folks talking about it. You're not taking this time off to, start a business or do X, Y, and Z, then you're wasting this time. And I'm just like, that's all good and well. Like I started a business, I wrote a book and I released it. I, kind of reinnovated the podcast and all that stuff. But this whole time frame was traumatic for people. It was traumatic for people. And to expect people to say, okay, no, I'm focusing on surviving for one. I may have family members who are sick or who have passed away from the virus. And at the same time, we're still dealing with these social justice issues to try to put something on somebody to say, hey, listen, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z as well. I always thought that was a little bit unfair and too much, but I'm glad to see that you took that time to focus on you, focus on your art, and do stuff that you really wanted to do. How is it working with an artist? Do you sing or do you only write songs for folks? Do you write a
I
song? Do you write a song for the particular person, or do you just write it in general and say, "Hey, listen, this is what I got. See if you like it or not."
Songwriting process is different than poetry because poetry is just kind of like, you get your concept and you move forward with it. Generally with songwriting, you work with a producer. I know for the song for Church Boys album, I worked with the producer. They sent me the track. I listened to the track and then basically came up with the words to go with the melody. You kind of get the first, you start off with like, songs usually start off with chorus and then goes to a hook, and then you have your first verse, then you do the chorus and the hook again, then the second verse, and then you can either do a bridge or you can do the chorus again and then go into the third verse if you want to put the third verse on there. And so that's how I went through the process. I was actually halfway through the song, and then a singer here named J Soul. She sings and writes. She was looking at it and she was like, since I don't sing, she came in like singing it and she was like, what if you add this or that? And then like me and her work together because little stuff like ad lib, stuff like that. And then she basically did the whole bridge on the song. But the hook, the chorus, the first 2 verses, that's all it was all me. And then I have like songs that I've written, but like I said, I don't sing. So it's kind of like I just, those are ones I just wrote. The way they're written isn't song format, but there was no actual beat to them. So it's kind of like I have songs ready for if I wanted to work with the artist. But the main thing I would do as a songwriter is, like I said, hear whatever the song is, like the actual beat, and then work from there from the beat and come up with something.
I had to get you to write a song for my daiquiri business. You know what I'm saying? You come up with a nice little hook jingle for me. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that offline. So tell people what else do you have going on coming up. I know you have your podcast show. Tell them about everything you have going on right now.
Well, right now, I'm working on basically, like I said, the screenplay that I wrote. I'm trying to get that out there. I've applied for a couple contests, actually won some. So the next step and goal with that is kind of shopping around. Eventually, I want to actually get the movie shot for that. So that process takes a little while. So you know how that goes. I just joined a podcast called Truth Bomb 101.
Okay.
I'm just a co-host on that one.
Okay.
Um, it's three guys and me, so I'm the feminine voice in the
Okay.
show. And it airs on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. It's on BSB Radio. You can download that, and that's 8 p.m. Wednesday Central Standard Time.
Okay. All right. You got a lot going on. So now when you write this movie, if you got like a scene for like, big bodyguard number 1 or thug number 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, cast me for it. You know what I mean? So I get my SAG card.
There's a club scene, so I might need. You won't have any speaking lines. I don't know if that matters to you.
Have you seen his face? I don't need no speaking lines, girl. Tell people how they can find you.
Well, you can get in contact with me. The best way to get in contact with me is Instagram. My Instagram's open, so and then Facebook they be all. So the best way to get in contact with me is Instagram, and that is Serenity. That's Serenity, and then 2 underscores, and then the word speak.
Say that last word again. Speak.
Yeah, speak.
Okay. SPEAK.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Serenity, thank you so much for coming on, man. Listen, we really try to talk about everything black, and a lot of our show talks about, politics. It talks about health, current events. But I think it's important that we talk about everything that affects the black community and everything that's a part of the black community. You definitely are a part of that with the work that you do, interviewing artists, an artist yourself, because it's an outlet for people. When you speak through your art, it's reaching somebody. You may be going through something that it's being cathartic for you. You're putting it on paper, but you may not know how many other people that you're inspiring with the work that you do. And I think that we need to encourage all of our young people to embrace the arts, encourage and motivate you to keep putting good art out. And I'm a big fan of yours. I'll be waiting for my invite to the movie. I'll be waiting for my jingle for my business for my song, and I'll be waiting to buy the book when you re-release it. Okay, so thank you again for coming on the Man Listen Show, everybody. If you want to find our show, you can go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Man Listen Show. Make sure you share the show and use the hashtag Man Listen. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Thank you for having me on.
It's all good.